Here's something most people don't realize until it's too late. You're not trying to learn how to manifest. You're already manifesting every single second of every single day. Right now, as you're reading these words, you're pulling things toward you like a magnet. The money in your bank account, the relationships in your life, the opportunities that show up or don't show up, all of it is a direct reflection of what you've been broadcasting into the universe. The question isn't whether you're manifesting. The question is, what exactly are you manifesting? And here's the kicker. If you don't like what you see in your life right now, you've been manifesting unconsciously, running on autopilot, letting your default programming create your reality instead of taking the wheel and designing it intentionally. Think about it like this. Imagine you're holding a radio transmitter, and whatever frequency you set it to, that's what comes through the speakers. If you're tuned into 98.5 FM, you're gonna get whatever's playing on 98.5. You can't be on that station and expect to hear what's on 101.3. It doesn't work that way. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, those are your frequency. And the universe is responding to that frequency with mathematical precision. You walk around worried about money. You're broadcasting lack. You walk around grateful and expecting good things. You're broadcasting abundance. The universe doesn't judge it. It just matches it. It's like placing an order at a restaurant. You get exactly what you asked for, even if you ordered it by accident. Most folks are walking through life complaining about the meal they're eating, never realizing they're the ones who ordered it. They're saying things like, "Why does this always happen to me?" Or, "I never get a break," and wondering why their circumstances never change. But every word, every thought, every feeling is an order you're placing with the universe. If you keep ordering struggle, guess what's going to show up on your plate? Before we go deeper into how to shift your frequency and start manifesting what you actually want, let me ask you something. If you're serious about mastering this, hit that subscribe button on Attraction Magnet right now, because what's coming next is gonna blow your mind. And here's the thing you need to understand as we move forward. Let me tell you something that might sting a little bit, but it's gonna set you free. Everything you're experiencing right now, your bank account, your relationships, your health, your job, where you live, the car you drive, it's all a mirror reflection of your vibration over the past weeks, months, and years. Not what you said you wanted, not what you wrote in your journal once, not what you wished for when you blew out your birthday candles, your vibration. And your vibration is the sum total of your dominant thoughts, your habitual emotions, and your deeply held beliefs about yourself and the world. If you've been vibrating at the frequency of "I'm not good enough," then the universe has been saying, "Your wish is my command," and matching that energy with experiences that confirm it. This is the part where most people get defensive. But hear me out. This isn't about blame. It's about power. Because if your vibration created this reality, then changing your vibration can create a completely different one. Your current reality is old news. It's yesterday's vibration showing up today. Think of it like watching a movie. What you see on the screen right now was filmed weeks or months ago. The actors have already moved on, living completely different lives, but you're still watching what they did back then. Your life works the same way. There's a time delay between what you vibrate and what you see manifest in your physical reality. So if you look around right now and don't like what you see, don't panic. That's just old footage. The question is, what are you filming today? What frequency are you broadcasting right this second? Because that's what's going to show up on your screen tomorrow, next week, next month. And here's where it gets interesting. You can literally change the channel anytime you want. I'm going to be straight with you. A lot of people hear this and their ego kicks in. But you don't understand my situation. My boss is terrible. My spouse doesn't support me. I grew up poor. I didn't have the advantages other people had. And I get it. I really do. But here's the truth bomb. Every single person who's ever changed their life had to stop blaming their circumstances and start taking responsibility for their vibration. Not because their circumstances didn't matter, but because blaming circumstances keeps you stuck in the same frequency that created those circumstances in the first place. It's a loop, a trap. The way out isn't to change your circumstances first. The way out is to change your vibration, and then watch your circumstances shift like dominoes falling. And that shift? It starts with understanding something most people never grasp. Now we're getting into the real stuff. The stuff that sounds mystical, but is actually backed by physics. Everything in this universe, and I mean everything, is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your body, the chair you're sitting on, the phone in your hand, the air you're breathing, your thoughts, your emotions, it's all energy. Scientists have known this for over a century. Einstein said it. Quantum physicists have proven it in labs. Matter is just energy that's vibrating slowly enough to appear solid. But at the subatomic level, it's all just particles and waves, vibrating, moving, dancing. And here's where it gets wild. Your thoughts and emotions are also energy, and they vibrate at specific frequencies. High-vibe emotions like love, joy, gratitude, excitement. They vibrate fast. Low-vibe emotions like fear, anger, shame, worry, they vibrate slow. And the universe responds to whatever frequency you're putting out. Think about it like tuning into a radio station again. But this time, imagine there are thousands of stations playing simultaneously. There's a station broadcasting abundance, success, love, health, freedom. There's another station broadcasting struggle, lack, loneliness, sickness, limitation. All of these stations exist at the same time, right now, in the quantum field of infinite possibilities. You're not creating reality from scratch. You're selecting which reality you tune into based on your frequency. When you're vibrating high, feeling grateful, feeling excited about your future, feeling love, you literally tune into the stations where those things exist. When you're vibrating low, feeling anxious, bitter, defeated, you tune into the stations where struggle and lack exist. It's not punishment. It's not karma. It's physics. It's the law. And once you understand this, you realize you've had the remote control in your hand the whole time. Here's an example that'll make this crystal clear. Let's say there are two people, both starting a business. Person A wakes up every day stressed, worried about failing, focused on how little money they have, complaining about how hard everything is. Person B wakes up every day excited, visualizing success, grateful for the opportunities they do have, focused on growth and possibilities. Both are working hard. Both are taking action. But person A is vibrating at the frequency of lack and struggle. Person B is vibrating at the frequency of abundance and expansion. Who do you think is going to attract better opportunities, better clients, better ideas, better synchronicities? Person B, every single time. Not because they're luckier, not because they're more talented, but because their frequency is aligned with what they want. And this is why effort without alignment is exhausting and ineffective. You can work yourself into the ground, but if your vibration doesn't match your desire, you're pushing a boulder uphill. And speaking of alignment, your thoughts are not just random noise in your head. They're not just commentary on your life. Your thoughts are creative forces. Every single thought you think sends out a vibrational signal into the universe, and that signal acts like a magnet, pulling toward you people, circumstances, opportunities, and experiences that match its frequency. This isn't philosophy. This isn't wishful thinking. This is how energy works. Thoughts are things. They have substance. They have power. And the thoughts you think most often become your point of attraction. If you spend your day thinking, "I'm broke, I'm stuck, nothing ever works out for me," you're literally magnetizing more experiences that confirm those thoughts. Not because the universe hates you, but because it's giving you exactly what you're asking for with your attention. Now here's where people mess this up. They think, okay, I'll just think positive thoughts and everything will be fine. And then they spend 2 minutes visualizing their dream life and the other 23 hours and 58 minutes worrying, doubting, and complaining. That doesn't work, because it's not about thinking one good thought. It's about your dominant mental diet. It's about the thoughts you return to over and over again throughout the day. If you think one abundant thought, but 99 fearful thoughts, guess which frequency you're broadcasting? The universe doesn't respond to your occasional wishful thinking. It responds to your consistent, habitual, dominant vibration. That's why changing your life isn't about a one-time affirmation or a vision board you look at once a month. It's about reprogramming your mental habits, catching yourself when you slip into old patterns, and consciously choosing thoughts that align with what you want to attract. Let me give you a real-world example. There was a guy named Jim Carrey, before he was famous, broke, living in his car with his dad. He wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated it 5 years in the future, and kept it in his wallet. He visualized it. He believed it. He acted as if it was already done. 5 years later, almost to the day, he got paid $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe he understood something most people don't. Your thoughts, when charged with emotion and belief, become magnetic. They set forces into motion. They open doors you didn't even know existed. And this isn't just for celebrities. This is for you, right now, with whatever you want to manifest. But here's the secret ingredient most people forget. This is the game changer. This is the secret that separates people who manifest occasionally from people who manifest consistently. You've got to feel it before you see it. Not just think it. Not just visualize it. Feel it. Because the universe doesn't respond to your thoughts alone. It responds to the emotion behind your thoughts. Emotion is energy in motion. It's the rocket fuel that launches your desires from the invisible realm into the visible world. When you think about what you want and feel nothing, you're sending out a weak signal. But when you think about what you want and feel the joy, the excitement, the gratitude, the relief as if it's already yours, you're sending out a powerful, magnetic, irresistible signal that the universe must respond to. Here's how most people approach manifestation and why it doesn't work. They sit down, close their eyes, and say, "Okay, I want $1 million." And they picture the money. Maybe they see themselves holding it or checking their bank account, but the whole time, in the back of their mind, there's doubt. There's a little voice saying, "Yeah, right, like that's ever gonna happen. You don't even have $100 right now." And that feeling of doubt, that feeling of lack, that's the real signal they're sending out. The words don't matter. The pictures don't matter. It's the feeling underneath that the universe picks up on. So if you're visualizing abundance but feeling lack, you're going to keep attracting lack. If you're visualizing love but feeling unworthy, you're going to keep attracting relationships that confirm your unworthiness. The feeling is everything. So how do you shift the feeling? You've got to practice living in the end. You've got to step into the version of you that already has what you want and feel how that version of you feels. If you want financial abundance, don't just picture money. Feel the relief of not worrying about bills. Feel the freedom of knowing you can buy what you want. Feel the confidence of walking into a room knowing you're taken care of. If you want love, don't just picture a partner. Feel the warmth of being held. Feel the joy of laughing together. Feel the peace of knowing you're deeply loved. The more real you can make it feel in your body, the faster it shows up in your reality. And the cool thing is, you don't need anything external to feel this way right now. You can generate those emotions on purpose, just by using your imagination and your focus. And when you do that consistently, let's take visualization to the next level, because most people are doing it wrong. They're treating it like a chore, like something they have to check off a list. They sit there, squint their eyes, try to see some vague image of their goal. And after 30 seconds, they're like, okay, done. Where's my stuff? That's not how this works. Real visualization, the kind that actually manifests, is a full sensory experience. It's not just about seeing. It's about seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, and feeling. It's about making it so vivid, so real in your imagination, that your subconscious mind and the universe can't tell the difference between what you're imagining and what's actually happening. Because here's the secret. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference, and neither does the quantum field. Let me walk you through an example. Let's say you want to manifest your dream home. Don't just picture the outside of the house. Step inside. What does the floor feel like under your feet? Is it hardwood, carpet, marble? Walk through each room. What do you see? What colors are on the walls? What furniture is there? Open the fridge. What's inside? Go to the window. What do you see outside? Is it a backyard, a beach, a cityscape? Sit on the couch. How does it feel? Turn on the sound system. What music is playing? Invite friends over in your imagination. What are they saying? How does it feel to show them around? Can you smell fresh coffee brewing in the kitchen? Can you feel the warmth of the sun coming through the windows? The more details you add, the more senses you involve, the more powerful the signal you're sending out. And here's the thing. You've got to do this consistently, not once, not when you feel like it, daily. Make it a ritual. Spend 10, 15, 20 minutes every day living in your desired reality in your imagination. And don't just go through the motions. Feel it. Get emotional about it. Smile. Laugh. Let your body respond as if it's real, because to your subconscious, it is real. And your subconscious is the bridge between your conscious desires and your manifested reality. It takes the orders you give it through your imagination and emotions, and it starts rearranging your external world to match. It sends you ideas. It opens doors. It creates synchronicities. It pulls you toward people and opportunities that align with your vision. But it needs clear instructions. And those instructions come through vivid, emotional, sensory-rich visualization. And once you've programmed your subconscious with this new reality, now let's talk about something critical. The universe is not responding to what you want. It's responding to who you are. More specifically, it's responding to your dominant vibration, the frequency you hold most of the time. You can say you want abundance, but if your dominant vibration is fear, scarcity, and doubt, that's what you're going to keep attracting. You can say you want love, but if your dominant vibration is unworthiness and bitterness, that's what's going to keep showing up. The universe doesn't care about your words. It doesn't care about your vision board. It cares about your vibration. And your vibration is determined by what you think about, how you feel, and what you believe most consistently throughout your day. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You can't fake your vibration. You can't trick the universe. You can say all the right affirmations. You can post all the inspirational quotes. You can do all the rituals, but if underneath all of that, you're still carrying old beliefs, old wounds, old fears, your vibration will reflect that. And the universe will respond to the truth of your vibration, not the performance. This is why some people can visualize for months and nothing happens. It's not because the law of attraction doesn't work. It's because their conscious desire is vibrating at one frequency, but their subconscious programming is vibrating at another. And the subconscious always wins. It's running the show 95% of the time. So if you want to change what you're attracting, you've got to change your dominant vibration, which means you've got to change your subconscious programming. So how do you do that? It starts with awareness. Start paying attention to your thoughts throughout the day. What are you thinking about most? What stories are you telling yourself? What do you believe about money, love, success, yourself? Write it down. Get honest. Because you can't change what you're not aware of. Then, start interrupting the old patterns. When you catch yourself thinking a thought that doesn't match what you want, stop. Don't judge it. Don't beat yourself up. Just stop and choose a different thought. Replace "I'm broke" with "money flows to me easily." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am worthy of everything I desire." Do this 100 times a day if you have to. Over time, those new thoughts become your new dominant vibration. And when your dominant vibration shifts, if I could give you one practice that would accelerate your manifestations faster than anything else, it would be this: gratitude. Not the fake, forced kind where you're just going through the motions. Real, deep, heartfelt gratitude. Because gratitude is one of the highest vibrational frequencies that exists. When you're in a state of true gratitude, you're telling the universe, "I have enough. I am enough. Life is good." And the universe responds to that signal by giving you more things to be grateful for. It's a loop, a beautiful, abundant loop. The more you appreciate, the more you attract things to appreciate. Gratitude is magnetic. It's an amplifier. It takes whatever you're manifesting and speeds it up, multiplies it, expands it. But here's the key. Most people only practice gratitude for what they already have. And that's great. That's important. But if you really want to activate the full power of gratitude, you've got to be grateful for what's already yours in the unseen realm. Be grateful for the money that's on its way. Be grateful for the relationship that's lining up. Be grateful for the opportunities that are about to knock on your door. Thank the universe in advance. Feel the gratitude as if it's already done. This does two things. First, it shifts your vibration to match the reality where you already have what you want. Second, it removes doubt. Because if you're genuinely grateful for something, you're not worried about whether it's going to show up. You know it's done. You're just waiting for it to arrive. That's the energy of certainty. And certainty is magnetic. I'll give you a simple practice you can start today. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, close your eyes and say, "Thank you for 3 things that haven't happened yet, but you know are coming. Thank you for the $10,000 that's on its way to me. Thank you for the love that's finding me right now. Thank you for the clarity and direction I'm about to receive." And feel it. Don't just say the words. Feel the relief, the excitement, the peace of knowing it's already yours. Do this every single day for 30 days and watch what happens. Watch how your external reality starts to shift. Watch how opportunities start appearing out of nowhere. Watch how people start showing up with exactly what you need. It's not magic, it's magnetism. And it works because gratitude is the language the universe understands best. And once you've mastered gratitude, here's where a lot of people get confused about the law of attraction. They think it means you just sit on your couch, visualize, and wait for things to fall from the sky. That's not how it works. You've got to take action. But, and this is crucial, it's gotta be the right kind of action. There's a massive difference between inspired action and forced action. Forced action comes from fear, doubt, and lack. It's the hustling, grinding, pushing, trying to make things happen because you don't trust that the universe has your back. It's exhausting, it's draining, and most of the time, it doesn't even work. Inspired action, on the other hand, comes from alignment, intuition, and flow. It's effortless. It feels good. It feels right. And it produces massive results with way less effort. Inspired action is what happens when you're aligned with your desire, and the universe starts giving you nudges. You get an idea out of nowhere. You feel pulled to reach out to someone. You stumble across an opportunity that feels like it was meant for you. That's inspired action. And when you act on those nudges, magic happens. Doors open. Things click into place. Synchronicities happen. But you've got to be tuned in to receive those nudges. If you're constantly stressed, worried, and forcing things, you're not going to hear them. You're too busy trying to control everything. But when you're relaxed, trusting, and in a high vibration, the inspired actions come naturally. And they lead you exactly where you need to go, often through paths you never would have thought of on your own. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to grow your business. Forced action is cold calling 100 people a day, working 16-hour days, stressing about every sale, trying to control every outcome. Inspired action is focusing on your vision, feeling abundant, and then following the intuitive hits. Maybe you feel called to post something on social media and it goes viral. Maybe you randomly meet someone at a coffee shop who becomes your biggest client. Maybe you wake up with an idea for a product that takes off. You're still taking action, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like flow. And the results are exponentially better. This is why alignment comes before action. When you're aligned, the right actions reveal themselves. And that alignment starts with, let's dismantle a myth that's been destroying people's lives for generations. The myth of hard work is the only way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't work. I'm saying effort without alignment is a waste of your time and energy. You can work yourself into the ground, sacrifice your health, your relationships, your peace of mind, and still end up broke, burnt out, and miserable. Because working hard on the wrong frequency is like trying to drive to New York when your GPS is set for Los Angeles. It doesn't matter how fast you drive or how much gas you burn. You're going the wrong way. Alignment is about making sure your internal frequency matches your external desires before you take action. When you're aligned, effort feels easy. Work feels like play. Opportunities find you. Money flows. Love shows up. Everything clicks. Think about the people who seem to have it all. Wealth, success, love, freedom. And they don't look stressed or exhausted. They're not grinding 20 hours a day. They're not sacrificing everything. They look happy, relaxed, like life is working for them instead of against them. What's their secret? Alignment. They've figured out how to match their vibration to what they want, and then they let the universe bring it to them. They take inspired action when it feels right, but they're not forcing anything. They trust the process. They trust the timing. They trust that if they hold the right frequency, the right results will come. And they do, every single time. This is the difference between people who manifest occasionally and people who live in a constant state of flow and abundance. So how do you get into alignment? First, you've got to stop doing things out of fear or obligation. If you're taking action because you're scared of what will happen if you don't, that's not alignment. That's resistance. and resistance blocks the flow. Second, you've got to check in with yourself before you act. Ask, does this feel light or heavy? Does this feel exciting or draining? Am I doing this because I'm inspired or because I'm desperate? If it feels heavy or desperate, pause. Get back into a high vibration first. Do something that makes you feel good. Meditate. Go for a walk. Listen to music. Get yourself back into alignment, and then see what action feels right. 9 times out of 10, the action that feels aligned will produce better results with way less effort. And this brings us to something most people resist. Here's a hard truth. The only thing standing between you and everything you want is resistance. Not lack of effort, not bad luck, not the economy, not your past, resistance. And resistance comes in many forms. Doubt is resistance. Fear is resistance. Impatience is resistance. Trying to control how and when your manifestation shows up is resistance. Complaining is resistance. Worrying is resistance. Every time you focus on what's not working, what you don't have, how long it's taking, you're creating resistance. And resistance is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes effort. It's exhausting. And the second you let go, the ball shoots up to the surface. Your desires are the same way. They're already yours in the quantum field. They're trying to come to you, but your resistance is holding them underwater. The secret to manifestation isn't adding more effort. It's removing resistance. It's letting go. It's trusting. It's allowing. When you release the need to control every detail, when you stop obsessing over the how and the when you stop checking your bank account every 5 minutes to see if the money showed up yet, that's when things start flowing. Because you're no longer blocking the current. You're in the river, being carried downstream effortlessly. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you care so much that you're willing to get out of your own way and let the universe do its job. The universe knows the fastest path to your desire. It knows the people you need to meet. It knows the doors that need to open. But it can't deliver if you're standing at the door with your arms crossed, demanding it show up on your timeline. Here's a simple but powerful practice. Every time you catch yourself worrying about your manifestation, say this: I release the need to control. I trust the universe. It's already done. And mean it. Feel the weight lift off your shoulders. Feel the relief of knowing you don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to force anything. You just have to stay aligned, stay grateful, and stay open. The how is not your job. Your job is to hold the vision, feel the feeling, and take inspired action when it comes. That's it. The universe handles the rest. And when you truly embody this, when you stop resisting and start allowing, the floodgates open. Things you've been trying to force for years suddenly show up effortlessly, and you realize it was never about working harder. It was about letting go. And part of letting go means understanding this next truth. This is the belief that changes everything. And it's the belief most people struggle with the most. Deep down, a lot of us don't believe we deserve good things. We think we have to earn it. We think we have to prove ourselves. We think we have to hustle, sacrifice, and suffer before we're worthy of abundance, love, success, happiness. And that belief, that core belief of unworthiness, is the biggest block to manifestation. Because if you don't believe you deserve it, you'll sabotage it every time it starts to show up. You'll push away the relationship. You'll spend the money as soon as you get it. You'll talk yourself out of the opportunity. Not consciously, but subconsciously, you'll do whatever it takes to stay in alignment with your belief that you're not worthy. Here's the truth. You don't have to earn your worthiness. You were born worthy. You deserve abundance, love, joy, health, freedom, and every good thing simply because you exist. Not because of what you've done, not because of your achievements, or your resume, or how hard you've worked. Because you are a divine being, an extension of the universe itself, and the universe doesn't create anything unworthy. You are worthy by design, by default. The sun doesn't have to earn the right to shine. The ocean doesn't have to prove it deserves to be vast. A flower doesn't have to justify its beauty. And neither do you. You are enough, right now, exactly as you are. And the moment you truly believe that, everything changes. So how do you reprogram this belief? Start with mirror work. Look yourself in the eyes every single day and say, I am worthy. I deserve all the good that's coming to me. I am enough. At first, it's going to feel awkward. You might not believe it. Your inner critic might laugh at you. Do it anyway. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it becomes your truth. Also, start catching yourself when you downplay your wins. When you say things like, I got lucky, or it's not a big deal, or I don't deserve this. Stop. Reframe. Own your worthiness. Celebrate your wins. Accept compliments without deflecting. Let yourself receive without guilt. Because the universe is trying to give you everything, but you've got to be willing to receive it. And you can only receive what you believe you deserve. Once you internalize this, you'll notice something incredible happening. Once you start aligning your vibration with your desires, something magical begins to happen. You start noticing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences. You think about someone and they text you 5 minutes later. You need information, and you randomly come across exactly what you were looking for. You see repeating numbers, 1111, 222, 333, everywhere you look. You overhear a conversation that answers a question you've been asking. Doors open at the perfect time. People show up with exactly what you need. And it feels like the universe is winking at you, saying, I see you, I hear you, I'm working on it. These synchronicities are not random. They're confirmations. They're proof that you're on the right path, that your manifestation is lining up, that the invisible is about to become visible. Most people dismiss synchronicities as coincidence. They think, oh, that's just random, and they move on without giving it a second thought. But when you understand the law of attraction, you realize there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything is energy responding to energy. When you're vibrating at the frequency of your desire, the universe starts orchestrating events, people, and opportunities to match that frequency. And synchronicities are the breadcrumbs. They're the signs that you're aligned. They're the universe's way of saying, keep going. You're close. Trust the process. The more you acknowledge and appreciate these synchronicities, the more of them you'll notice, because attention amplifies. What you focus on expands. Here's what I want you to start doing. Keep a synchronicity journal. Every time something coincidental happens, write it down. Every time you see repeating numbers, write it down. Every time someone shows up at the perfect time, or you stumble across the exact resource you needed, write it down. Over time, you'll start to see patterns. You'll start to see how the universe has been guiding you all along. And this awareness will strengthen your faith, your trust, your knowing that your desires are on their way. Because faith isn't blind belief. Faith is trust built on evidence. And synchronicities are the evidence. They're the universe showing you its hand, giving you glimpses of the magic that's happening behind the scenes. And the more you trust, the more magic shows up. Which brings us to something that sounds too good to be true, but is absolutely real. Let's get a little quantum for a second, because this is where things get mind-blowing. In quantum physics, there's this concept called the quantum field. a field of infinite potential where every possible version of reality exists simultaneously. Right now, in this moment, there's a version of you that's wildly successful. There's a version of you that's deeply in love. There's a version of you that's healthy, wealthy, and free. And there's also a version of you that's struggling, stuck, and suffering. All of these versions exist right now, not in the future, but in the present, in the quantum field. And the version you experience in your physical reality is determined by your vibration, your focus, your beliefs. You're not creating reality from scratch. You're selecting which reality you step into based on the frequency you're broadcasting. This is huge, because it means your dream life isn't something you have to build from the ground up. It already exists. It's already done. You just have to align with the frequency of that reality and collapse the wave function, quantum physics term for bringing a possibility into your experience. Every time you visualize, every time you feel the emotions of your desire, every time you act as if it's already yours, you're tuning into that version of reality. You're pulling it closer. You're making it more probable. And eventually, it becomes inevitable. This is why people who master manifestation seem to defy logic. They seem to attract things that shouldn't be possible. But they're not defying logic. They're working with quantum mechanics. They're accessing the field of infinite possibilities and selecting the reality they want. So, how do you tap into this field? Meditation is one of the most powerful tools. When you quiet your mind, when you get into a state of deep relaxation, you're no longer bound by your current reality. You're no longer identified with your problems, your limitations, your past. You're just pure consciousness, pure potential. And in that state, you can connect with the quantum field. You can feel into the version of reality where you already have everything you want. You can download information, ideas, solutions that don't exist in your current reality. This is where breakthroughs come from. This is where million-dollar ideas are born. Not from grinding and forcing, but from quieting the mind and tuning into the field. And once you understand this, once you realize that everything you want already exists and you just have to align with it, the pressure melts away because you're not trying to create something out of nothing. You're just tuning into a different channel. And that's way easier than you think, especially when you understand this next principle. Here's the final piece of the puzzle, and it's the one that trips people up the most. The more you relax, the faster you manifest. I know that sounds backwards. We've been conditioned to believe that success requires stress, hustle, grind, sleepless nights, and constant anxiety about whether we're doing enough. But that's the old paradigm. That's the paradigm of force and struggle. The new paradigm, the paradigm of the law of attraction, is about ease, flow, trust, and relaxation. Because when you're relaxed, you're in a state of allowing. You're open. You're receptive. You're not blocking the flow with resistance, doubt, and fear. When you're stressed and anxious, you're contracting. You're closing off. You're literally pushing away the very things you're trying to attract. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that the best ideas come to you in the shower, or right before you fall asleep, or when you're taking a walk and not thinking about anything? That's not a coincidence. That's because your mind is relaxed. You're not forcing anything. You're not trying to figure it out. And in that state of ease, inspiration flows. Solutions appear. Clarity comes. The same is true for manifestation. The harder you try, the more you push, the more you stress, the further away your desires get. But the moment you relax, the moment you let go, the moment you say, you know what? It's already done. I trust. I'm good. That's when things start showing up. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped resisting. I want you to try something this week. Pick one thing you've been stressing about. Money, a relationship, a career move, whatever. And just for 1 week, decide you're not going to stress about it. You're going to assume it's already handled. You're going to trust that the universe is working it out. And every time you feel the anxiety creeping in, take a deep breath and say, "It's already done. I'm good." And then go do something that makes you feel good. Go for a walk. Listen to music. Spend time with people you love. Get out of your head and into your body. Get into a state of joy and peace, and watch what happens. I promise you, within that week, you'll see movement. You'll see signs. You'll see synchronicities. Because you've stopped blocking the flow. You've stopped resisting. And in that state of relaxation and trust, miracles happen. Because the universe has been trying to give you everything all along. You just had to get out of the way. And now that you understand all of this, now that you've got the blueprint, there's only one question left. So here we are. You've just been given the keys to the kingdom, the blueprint to manifest anything you want. The understanding that you're not a victim of circumstance. You're a magnet, a creator, a deliberate designer of your reality. But here's the thing. Knowing this information doesn't change anything. Understanding the law of attraction intellectually is useless if you don't apply it. So let me ask you, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to watch this video, feel inspired for 5 minutes, and then go back to your old patterns, your old thoughts, your old vibration? Or are you going to take this seriously? Are you going to commit to the work? Are you going to start paying attention to your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs? Are you going to start visualizing every day, feeling your desires as if they're already real? Are you going to practice gratitude, release resistance, and trust the process even when you can't see the results yet? Because here's the truth. Most people won't do it. Most people will hear this, nod along, maybe even get excited, and then do nothing. They'll stay stuck in the same frequency, wondering why nothing ever changes. But you're not most people. If you made it this far, if you're still here, listening, absorbing, taking this in, that tells me something about you. It tells me you're serious. It tells me you're ready. So I'm going to challenge you right now. For the next 30 days, commit to this. Commit to raising your vibration every single day. Visualize. Feel it. Practice gratitude. Take inspired action. Release resistance. Trust. And document what happens. Write it down. Notice the synchronicities. Notice the shifts. Notice how your external reality starts to mirror your internal state. Because I promise you, if you do this consistently for 30 days, your life will not look the same. And look, I know change is scary. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's easier to stay where you are, even if where you are isn't great, because at least it's familiar. But you didn't come this far to stay the same. You didn't find this video by accident. The universe brought you here because you're ready for more. You're ready to step into your power. You're ready to manifest the life you've been dreaming about. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you can do this. You can. You already have everything you need inside of you. The power, the worthiness, the ability. Now go use it. And if you need support, if you need reminders, if you need that daily dose of alignment, make sure you subscribe to Attraction Magnet and turn on those notifications, because we're just getting started. And I'll see you in the next one. Now go create your reality.